Hey, Truth Seekers, welcome back. Zach here. In this post, I want to talk about yesterday's Supreme Court ruling, June 26th, 2015. The Supreme Court upheld the right for gay marriage in all 50 states. This comes on the 12-year anniversary of another major Supreme Court ruling, Lawrence versus Texas. Before this ruling, gay sex was illegal in 13 states. This put an end to that. After this ruling, no longer was gay sex illegal in any state. This happened June 26th, 2003, 12 years ago to the day. And if you're new to my blog, what I'm documenting here is how rigged our lives are. For every homosexual out there who's upset, or not upset, who's very happy about yesterday's ruling, what I would say to you is, you shouldn't live in a nation where your government tells you who you have the right to have sex with. You know what I mean? You shouldn't need the Supreme Court to say, yes, okay, now you may have sex with who you want to have sex with. Now you may marry who you want to marry. And also, to all the people who are outraged that gay marriage has been upheld and legalized, you know, there's just bigger fish to fry. If you're worried about marriage itself, just think about traditional marriage right now. We live in a nation where the majority of marriages end in divorce. So there's a crisis of marriage with or without gay marriage. That is the truth of today. And on a deeper level, I would ask yourself whoever gave us this concept of marriage in the first place. Because I'm not sure that from the very beginning it was the right thing for any of us to be doing. I don't know if people were ever supposed to marry each other. All this focus on the family. How's that working out? You know what I mean? We should focus more on community. Community. I like that phrase, it takes a village to raise a children. You just have to look around this nation to see how well families are doing with raising their children. Not so hot. But anyway, all those points aside, I want to get into the real rigging of this. If you've never seen my past posts on the Supreme Court, you should go back and check those out. I've taken apart Miranda rights, Roe v. Wade, and a whole lot more. The Supreme Court is part of the rigged joke that is this nation. The cases they get are fraudulent. The people whose names are on these things aren't even real people, they're actors. We live in a nation ran by actors. James Obergefell, who Obama mutilated the name of yesterday. Not a real person, I guarantee you. Actor, playing a part. He might be a real homosexual, but this isn't his real name. This isn't his real identity. The case was Obergefell versus Hodges. Jim Obergefell, 119 in Gematria. Guess what Hodges' full name is? Richard Hodges, 119. And what 119 connects to, a lot of you are probably thinking September 11th. It connects to Star of David. Star of David equals 119, the big way, 47, the small way. Numbers that are very important to all sorts of major incidents. Other Supreme Court cases, September 11th, Berlin Wall, and a whole lot more. So we see the sodomy ruling comes down exactly 12 years to the day. We see this case has two people facing each other with the exact same name gematria. Jim Obergefell. His partner, which was the big news story that died a few years back, 2013, was named John Arthur. And we heard a lot about John Arthur yesterday. The gematria of John Arthur, John's a 47 name. Supposedly John Arthur died at 47. What did I just say about 47 and 119? John Arthur dies at 47 in 2013. His name equals 133, just like homosexual. And if you look at all the numbers coded over homosexuality and the words we use, they all have this very special gematria. Gay is 33, fags is 33, queer is 66. 33 and 66 have major connections in numerology and gematria. The word happy is 66. Think about gay and happy. Major coding over the words, over the legal ramifications surrounding it. I mean, I wish this is what everyone would wake up to, how enslaved we are, and how so many of us truly despise freedom. We don't respect freedom of sexuality, freedom of what we put in our bodies, freedom of speech. You know, our society doesn't really respect freedom, even though we all like to hang on to that word. Usually, when I'm in a room criticizing people or criticizing our society, someone will shout out, "Well, why don't you leave the country then if you dislike it so much?" These morons don't realize what they're saying every time they use that phrase. A person who's free is able to speak out. A person who wants everyone to conform to a certain thing, that's someone who hates freedom. So Supreme Court cases by the numbers, and even rigged spectacles by the numbers. I mean, this should have been a clue to everyone. Last night, the media was showing this. Today, they're showing this. That the White House was all lit up with rainbow colors. The gay flag is the rainbow. Well, I'll show you how homosexual and White House go together ever so perfectly. White House, 133. Homosexual, 133. There's no way they would have had this ready to go. It shows you how it's all pre-planned, it's all pre-orchestrated, it's all agenda-driven. That's why the sodomy ruling was 12 years to the day earlier. The number 12 represents complete in numerology. Probably the reason it was a span of 12 years. Agenda complete. Let's just watch this news coverage.
Along with his spouse, led a successful challenge to Ohio's ban against same-sex marriage, has died. Local 12's Curtis Jackson has more on that story from the Alert Desk.
And I want to point out how this was in Ohio, Truth Seeker, the 17th state, the only of the 50 states with the simple English gematria of 47, the same age the man would die at, as we just talked about.
Curtis.
Kid John Arthur passed away from Lou Gehrig's disease. Arthur and his same-sex partner.
And look at how they also tie in Lou Gehrig's disease. Remember last summer the major hoax was the Ice Bucket Challenge, stealing everybody's money? I'm not saying these diseases don't exist. I'm just saying as a nation we're getting hoaxed. They're not telling us the real reasons these diseases exist. They're stealing the money, saying it's going towards research. They do this with cancer and a whole lot more. Let me tell you something, Truth Seeker. With regards to autism, what I was doing in my life when I started this research is I was the program manager at an autistic children's home. And with regards to autism knowledge in our society, they make it seem like it's really random, like they don't know much about it. It's a big mystery. It's a huge spectrum. Well, let me tell you something. The program I had 5 core kids in it that lived there all the time. And of the four of the 5 parents had multiple children who were autistic. Think about that. 4 of the 5 parents had multiple children who were autistic. What that tells me is that if real research is being dedicated to finding out the roots of autism, there's probably a real pattern that's already been discovered and they know and they don't want to tell us as a society because it's part of a cover-up. From the poison in our foods to vaccines to a whole lot more. Anyway, I'm going to end that rant. We're going back to gay marriage. Here we go.
Partner James Obergefell were legally married in another state. The over-the-Rhine couple won a lawsuit that forces the county coroner to recognize their marriage.
I mean, I noticed that guy was just in an orange shirt, too. Orange is the only color that sums to 33, just like the word gay. We see it a lot in the psyops. These pictures also look kind of weird. These guys, I don't know. Something looks absent between them. They might even be complete photoshops. That might be how fake the names and personalities are in all of these Supreme Court cases. Like I said, I've done this for everything. Roe v. Wade, Miranda rights, a whole lot more. The Supreme Court has always been a hoax. This whole nation runs on hoax. For those of you who come here and say you're sick, everyone's saying everything's a hoax, well, it's time for you to wake the fuck up. Because, yes, everything that drives mainstream society that's presented through the mainstream media is a hoax. They don't give us real information. We live in the matrix of their false understanding.
On Arthur's death certificate. Their case opened the door for a class action suit challenging Ohio's ban against same-sex marriage. The group Equality Ohio released this statement today. All of us here at Equality Ohio extend our sympathy to Jim Obergefell and the family of John Arthur. We will continue to work for marriage equality in John's honor. Their story is now woven into all of our stories. John Arthur will not be forgotten. Arthur died early this morning. He was 47. Kid?
He was 47. Ohio, 47. Star of David, 47. Who runs the media? Yes, the false Jews who love that symbol. So I already did a post on this, but I'll cover it again. This is the very first gay march in Washington, D.C. It happened on April 17th, 1965. Show you something here, Truth Seeker. It was led by Frank Kameny. Frank Kameny in Gematria, 119. For anybody out there saying this is all a coincidence, please call yourself from this day forward a coincidence theorist. We need to popularize that term. There's a lot of coincidence theorists out there. Think everything in this world's a coincidence. Everything but their pro sports. And all the other bullshit they swallow. Anyhow, this happened on the same day as the first march against the Vietnam War, led by Frank Kameny, 119. April 17th, 1965 has a numerology of 33, with the shortened method 86. With the full method, it would sum to 105, like the date the Titanic fully sunk or that Lincoln died. April 15th is the 105th day of the year. Anyhow, the word gay equals 33, as we talked about a little bit ago. Gay, simple English gematria, G7, A's 1, Y's 25, 33. So, the right day for a gay march, day with 33 numerology. And then just think about the symbolism in, for a lot of homosexuals. They go with that triangle and the rainbow. Triangle, pyramid, and symbol all have gematria of 86, special number. Frank Kameny in Pythagorean gematria sums to 47, just like Star of David's 47 the small way, 119 the big way. We just heard about how that other guy died at 47. Telling you, Truth Seeker, these people, the giveaway to their agenda is the numbers they code into all of it, and they're just relentless. So check this out. Here's another one. This is probably the biggest victory in the gay rights movement to date. What happened yesterday? Legalized gay marriage in all 50 states. Gay rights has a gematria of 114. We're currently living in the time of the 114th Congress, which was elected November 4th, 2014. John Boehner is the head of Congress, also from Ohio. John Boehner sums to 114. Just showing you how rigged the whole thing is. John Boehner's orange, the only color with a gematria of 33. Also, I thought this was cute. I saw Hillary Clinton on the news this morning saying, "Yesterday, love triumphed in the highest court of the land." And it just makes me laugh because it was a 5-4 decision, all part of the rigging. Of course, the word gay, or not gay, love has a gematria of 54. 5-4 decision, love triumphed. In the gigantic rig spectacle that it is. Also from this morning, there's gay pride festivals in Seattle, Houston, and New York right now through this weekend. CNN was saying that an ISIS flag was spotted at a gay pride event. I mean, just talk about what a joke. So far, so much of the ISIS propaganda has been coded with 33, so maybe it fits in that it's at a gay rights festival, you know? Just all part of the gigantic joke. Here's also another story. Birmingham street preacher protests Supreme Court's gay marriage ruling. And no matter how many times you reload this, it's just going to say 47 comments here. This is how fake your guys' media is. All the major media websites do this. They just put up fake numbers here for comments and retweets. It's always their numerology. Let's watch this video and then I'll show you how this connects.
You can't whoop your kids no more. You can't pray in school no more. You can barely say praise the Lord, but 2 men can marry a man and 2 women can marry a woman. Supreme Court needs Jesus. Supreme Court needs Jesus. That's what Supreme Court needs. Who gonna stand for him? Who gonna stand for him? He stand for you. When you gonna stand up for him? When you gonna stand up for him? Everybody coming out the closet but the church. When the church gonna come out the closet? I'm coming out the closet too. I'm coming Claudia too. I'm standing up for the Lord. And ain't scared, and I'm bold with it too. If I gotta stand all by myself, Supreme Court needs Jesus. That's who Supreme Court needs. Supreme Court needs Jesus in their life. That's who Supreme Court needs. Every knee gonna bow and every tongue gonna confess. Ephesians 6 in verse 31. Shall a man leave his mother and father and join to his wife. Not his partner that he played basketball with, but join to his wife. Supreme Court needs Jesus.
All right, so if anybody lives in Birmingham, go find that guy. Let him know that Jesus never said a thing about gay marriage. And also, let's teach him gematria because he's got a good, loud voice. But anyway, the media says his name was Cedric Hatcher, or they call him Brother Ced, the street preacher in Birmingham. I've never heard of him before today. Anyway, I just want to let you know the word agent has a gematria of 47, like the number up by the headline. The name Cedric is a 33 name, tying in here. And this nickname, Brother Ced, has a gematria of 98. We're seeing a lot of 98 right now because of Lupercalia and the upcoming Pope's visit. These numbers are connected to that. And all these stories are woven in like a web. So there's a reason they're giving us Brother Ced in that little clip right there in the mainstream media. More nonsense. So anyway, Truth Seeker, like I said, all of this is connecting to the Pope's upcoming visit. And it's the 266th Pope. Yesterday's date is written like this in a lot of parts of the world, where they write the day first, 26/6. The 266th Pope is coming on the 266th day. And what really creeps me out about this, Truth Seeker, is that yesterday, the day of the Supreme Court ruling, the day Obama was at the funeral, did a post on that, it was the 177th day of the year with 188 days remaining. And if you can remember the recent Philadelphia train crash that happened at 9:23 p.m., the Pope visits September 23rd, it was train number 188 is what they called it in the media. Train number 188. And making matters more interesting, they said that train was traveling 106 miles per hour. Traveling 106 miles per hour. The engine on the front had the number 601 on it, 106 in reverse. And strangely enough, there was a movie released in the early 2000s, Unbreakable, about a train crash in Philadelphia. In that movie, it's train number 177. And the movie runs exactly 106 minutes long. And since that, a movie came out called Unstoppable with Denzel Washington about another Pennsylvania train crash, which has all these same numbers coded all over it. The 188th day of the year is July 7th, 7/7. On that date, there was once the London train crashes. You remember that? This is how deep the coding is, Truth Seeker. It even blows my own mind. All this stuff that happened yesterday is going to be completely connected to whatever they have planned for us September 23rd. These are all just signs, all just symbolism. See how big the joke is? Jim Obergefell, Richard Hodges, Frank Kamini. It's just something else, isn't it? Something else. Lighten up the White House like a rainbow. And you know, that's what it is, Truth Seeker. I mean, if you don't get why they do this same media has taught people to hate homosexuals. The same media has taught people to hate all sorts of groups. But then at the same time, then they want to push the agenda of acceptance of all this. It's all part of the game, the psychological warfare that they wage on the public. This is how divide and conquer works. Dividing people over false religions they've been taught from this same group. They have a scheme that's been running for hundreds of years. That's how they're such good executioners of this. This is how they know us better than us, because they raised us. Filled us up with the chemicals and the programming. But don't kid yourself. Homosexuality is also a very real agenda. I know gay people who you could say I'm friends with, acquaintances with, who I talk to. gay guys who've hit on me and I told them to fuck off, but we were able to remain friends anyway. Those same gay guys trying to persuade me to be more like them have told me about all the gay straight men who fooled around with them just to experiment. And I think more and more people are experimenting and trying out homosexuality at this day and age because it is becoming more and more mainstream. And think about how it's going to be for little kids growing up in a world where men and men are kissing on the street, making out, holding hands. If you don't think this stuff happens, come up to Seattle. It's been going on up here ever since I've lived here, since 2006. Some people might say, so what, who cares? But I don't know. Might cause real confusion. I don't know. At the end of the day, I mean, this might offend, but I really don't think we're supposed to be fucking each other in the ass. That said, if you want to do it, you have the right. That's what freedom is. I respect freedom. So, that's my message. I want to show you guys just how fake everything is around us. It's all a big rigged scheme. All right, until next time.